From tornadoes to hurricanes, blizzards, and everything in between, you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. The Stormfront Freaks are former television meteorologist Marc Massaro, atmospheric science graduate and skywarn storm spotter Brady Harris, digital meteorologist and weather producer on the Weather Channel app Dina Knightley, former on-camera meteorologist at the Weather Channel Kim Cunningham, and I'm your announcer and Skywarn Network coordinator Mark Johnson. Now, here's the moderator of the Stormfront Freaks podcast, Skywarn storm spotter and chaser Phil Johnson.
Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the Stormfront Freaks podcast. Hey, if you are a first-time listener, we always enjoy and love the fact that you're checking us out. But we want to make sure you stop by stormfrontfreaks.com and access our library of previous shows, of all the previous timeless shows we've done in the past, with famous guests from the weather industry like National Weather Service MIC John Gordon, and American Ninja Weatherman Warrior Joe Moravsky are just a couple of ones we've had. But this is episode 71 that we're recording, and we're with a couple of the designers. Did I say that right? A couple of the designers.
You've been drinking.
I have. I'm drinking some cough syrup tonight. But these are designers of an upcoming storm chase video game called OUTBRK. We've got head of development Marc Remillard and marketing specialist Bobby Nicholls with us tonight. So we're going to look forward to chatting with them. They'll also be playing our lightning round game show, as well as joining us for some WX resources. And tonight we got another visit from the Weather Trollbot 5000. So Kim, you can't leave too early.
Okay. I guess 5 after 10 is fine.
Okay. Plus, we're excited to include our new segments from Tornado Talk with Jen Narramore and Tracker Chat with the Tornado Tracker. So we got a big show coming up. But before we get to all that, let's go ahead and introduce our team. It's always happy hour every time we record. And so let's find out what everybody's drinking. MJ, what are you drinking tonight?
All right, good night. I brought the captain, or hello, good evening. I brought the captain back. We got the captain and Coke tonight.
Captain and
right.
Coke. Steady Eddie. Maz, what do you got?
Okay, so this is not a Colt 45. It looks like it probably is.
You bottle that yourself.
No, actually, it's a buddy of mine who made it, and it is a Sierra Nirvana Pale Ale. It's good.
Sierra
Nirvana?
Yeah, so now you get it. It's a takeoff of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the guy who has his own shop has a really good palate, and he's like, and I'll change one word, and it's pretty close, so it's good. Good
wow,
stuff.
Impressive.
Nice.
That's good. All right, Kim. What I saw you saw Metallica recently. What were you drinking there?
Oh my gosh, I had two IPAs. It was called Battleship. You ever heard of this IPA before? Battleship.
No.
It's very, very hoppy, of course, very good. Yeah, that's all I had, just 2 beers that night.
Okay.
So
Were they this size? That helps.
yeah, but you know what? During a Metallica show, you don't want to get up and leave to go get a drink. You just don't want to. So I had my.
All right,
2
what are you
beers
drinking tonight?
All right, tonight I've got wine.
Wine. Okay.
This is Radius. Let me show you the bottle if you can see it. Radius.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, the bottle
Okay, it's a Cabernet.
Yeah.
It's a Cabernet, and it's pretty popular. But I mean, it's if you're on a budget, this is definitely the Cabernet for you.
And
Very
next
good.
week
All right.
diameter, right?
That's
That's
it.
right.
Circumference.
Let's go to our guests. We always have our digital green room is always open, but it basically means BYOB. And Mark, tell us what you're drinking and why you're drinking that.
I'm drinking a Vietnamese coffee because I'm actually still in Vietnam. I'm in the airport right now, and I'm going back home to Canada in a couple of hours, basically. So it's 9 in the morning right now.
Right.
So yeah, I'm
difference.
drinking coffee.
Okay.
But last night I had a great IPA from here.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Oh, you like
Vietnamese
IPA too? Yay.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, and then Bobby's in Arkansas. What are you drinking tonight, sir?
Tanqueray and tonic every time.
Oh, nice. In a coffee cup.
Oh yeah.
Tanqueray and tonic in a coffee cup. One of my favorites is gin and
Gin and gin. Yeah.
Gin and gin.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah.
Well, gin and Fresca.
Yeah.
Gin and Fresca. I haven't had that forever because you can't find Fresca anymore. But
Oh, they
very
sell it
good.
Does that
here.
still exist?
I haven't had it for a while, so that's probably why. Kim, enough
Yes.
talking about our
Yes.
drinking habits. I'm going to turn it over to you. Give these guys a great introduction.
All right, let's do this. All right, Outbreak is a multiplayer storm chasing video game designed to emulate all of the fun of storm chasing, but with none of the boring bits, and there can be, that's for sure. Driven by real data from historical server weather events, this game allows you to get the full experience of chasing each time that you play while adding a fun, competitive component. Now, Marc Remillard from Montreal is head of development for Outbreak and has been storm chasing for a little more than 13 years now, mainly in Tornado Alley, but also catching some twisters in Canada. Now, being a sound designer, mixer, and composer, he started learning about game engines using his basic knowledge in programming as a starting point. And Bobby Nicholls is gameplay and marketing director for Outbreak with a main focus on driving gameplay decisions and ideas. Bobby lives in Northwest Arkansas and is CIO of a local software startup as well as a part-time chaser. Well, this is really exciting. I know a lot of chasers and a lot of weather enthusiasts are probably pretty excited to hear about this upcoming video game. So we'd like to hear a little bit about it, of course, but also how you two got together to come up with this idea. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. That's all right.
He's
So, yeah, I started like alone, basically, with my chase partner who helped me with getting weather model data, because we use weather model data to drive the weather system in the game. So my friend is really good with programming such things, so he helped me getting this data, and then I hired someone to help having the engine reproduce the weather in 3D. And then that's when I met Bobby. I think he just found me somewhere on Reddit, or
He just showed up on your
hunted you
doorstep
down.
Stalker,
with his
you
Tanqueray and
stalker.
tonic.
yeah, he was drinking gin and gin, and I told him, like, come in my team, and I'm going to give you some tonic.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
team player.
Okay, I got a question for you. So, how do you do this? Are there a lot of variables so things change? Do you have like a mini numerical model going on in there? How do you do this?
Well, if any one of you is familiar with the WRF model, basically, like, you can have so many like small and detailed products out of this. So you can have cloud fraction, which means like you can know at a certain level in the atmosphere and at a given like coordinate, like how thick is the cloud fragment there. So like with all this data combined together, you can actually have a 3D shape of a cloud that's simulated by the weather model. It's just that we don't see this in our daily like forecasting tools, because it would be like huge, like too huge for any like internet or computer to actually like display this on time. But
Right.
when you have access to that model and you want to use it for bigger things, then you can use this. So that's what I did. I even
you
have
say-
like presentations and clouds, and yeah.
Did you say use it for weird things?
No, for bigger things.
Oh, bigger things. Hey, I'm
That's
loving
what-
your accent, man. Just say
No,
grande.
I don't do weird things with models.
Oh, really?
It's like,
Not those kind of models
what was
anyway,
that?
right?
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff right there. So, Mark, are you using? So, is the video game going to be based, or the storms in the video game going to be based on actual storms then that were in previous model runs, or
Yeah,
are
it's
you still
important-
creating it?
It's important to say in previous model runs rather than in previous like reality, because it's still the output of a weather model. So sometimes, it doesn't happen as the model saw
Yeah.
it coming. So what I can do though is modify the output of the model to fit reality better. So let's say like I want to simulate like a famous storm like El Reno or something. then I will have to go and modify some stuff, but I can do it. But usually, like, what I do is just simulate it, and then my whole system is gonna recreate the storms in 3D, and all the lightning and mesocyclone, everything that's going on under this storm will happen by itself.
Now, are there times there will not be a happy ending?
You mean like blue sky bust?
Yes.
Okay.
Could that happen? I mean, it happens all the time. Well, not anymore, but it used to back in the day when you didn't have cell phones. So anyway,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
that would be possible. We're just debating if it's a good thing to have such games, like such chase days in the game, because that would be probably boring. And as you mentioned in the beginning, what we're looking for is the fun part of chasing, and not the boring part.
So Bobby, can you tell me a little bit about how is the game going to be a true example of chasing, and what parts of the true experience are you taking out besides maybe Blue Sky Bus?
Yeah. So, well, speaking to the Blue Sky Bus, one of the things that you have to do when you first go into the game, into a server or match, whatever you want to call it, the first thing you have to do is look at the models and kind of pick your target area. So you can spawn at, like, I think gas stations. I can't remember where else, but there's a few different areas you can spawn, and in the game world, and you choose wherever is closest to where you think the target area is going to be. That's a part that we take
Give
out.
a quick definition of spawn for some of our listeners that don't understand the gaming knowledge and verbiage.
You load into the game, and it's
like
in
a
first
doorway,
person.
right?
Yeah, and you start when the game actually launches. The rest of the way, you're standing there staring at your car, basically. And what we took out is the extremely long drive that it usually takes to get from your base to your target area. So, but in the idea of clear sky bus and stuff like that, if you don't pick a good target area, there's a good chance you won't get on the right storm, and you're going to be spending the whole time just chasing after all the other chasers that are in the lobby.
Yeah.
Mm. Are you standing next to your car that has hail damage, or what are we?
It can get pretty damaged. We've had a few fun incidents with the
Do you get into
car.
We've had funny bugs as well, like hail damage to the point that the car explodes and I die and everything like that. So it's fun moments, but it's going to be fixed.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Armageddon size hail.
do you get rewarded like certain types of equipment if you do something right? Is it kind of like Minecraft in that way, where you try to get to a certain goal or something, and you get maybe I don't know, a better satellite dish or something? You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah.
Is that part of the game?
Yeah, so to keep the multiplayer and the game side of it, because not everybody's a chaser, not everybody's going to be great at forecasting and picking their target areas, things like that. To keep that game element in it, there are different ways you can earn points through making reports, tornado reports, hail reports, wall clouds, all what you would normally do, as long as you're actually looking at the feature that you're reporting, as well as you can. We have a probe system in place that allows you to place it down to try and get it in the path as a good intercept, and you have to try and retrieve it afterwards. So you want to stay safe enough to be able to get it, but you want to stay close enough because anybody else will know that you placed it and will try to go take it for themselves. It's worth a lot of points.
How you getting points? Like, what are some of the things you do besides the probe?
The probe, the reports. Right now, that's kind of where we're sitting at. I don't remember if there's any other ones that we've added yet. And then the points themselves are used, when you finish a game, say that the event is over, the event of the day or the outbreak or the storm, and the game ends, and you have leaderboards. Wherever you rank will earn you points that you can spend on upgrades for your next vehicle and stuff like that. Like hail shields is one of the ones we've been working on and stuff like that.
And we want to add some detailed stuff, like if you place a hail shield on your truck, you're going to spend more gas when you're driving because it's heavier. So we're going to add some details like that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So I want to find out what kind of gameplay you're going to have that's going to keep people coming back when they keep seeing a digital tornado again and again, and you're taking out the long drives on the lonely roads. If you've seen it once or twice on your computer screen, what's going to bring you back? I want to find out about that. We're going to first take a quick break. Go ahead and refill your drink and check out the new Tracker Chat with the Tornado Trackers discussing Chase Day morning. We'll be right back with Mark and Bobby.
Welcome back to Tracker Chat with the Tornado Trackers. I am your host, Jeremy Heyman. I am joined by my chasing partners, Gabe Cox and Jeff Mangum. We're going to be talking about, in particular, Chase Day morning. I would love to just be able to pick y'all's brains on what is the morning of Chase Day like for each of you guys. What are some of the things you guys are looking at forecasting-wise? What are you double and triple checking is in the vehicle? What kind of things are you guys looking at? I'll start with you, Jeff.
Yeah, I think there's a few things, and they probably cover a few different elements of chasing on the day of. One of the things that I've learned and we've learned as a team is double check and triple check your cameras and your cards. One of the things that stands out to me that still just kills me is when we were chasing the Wynnewood EF4, we had multiple cameras going on, but the two that I think we really wanted to have running were our dash cam and our GoPro. And our dash cam, we thought we had turned on, but it was on pause the entire time until the very, very end. And then our GoPro, I think the disc was full. So luckily we had other cameras going on, but I remember thinking at the end of that day, never again will there be a morning where we don't repeatedly check that everything is ready to go. And that way you don't have to feel any anxiety or stress when the storms start to take off. You can just concentrate on chasing and not be running through all your camera gear to make sure frantically that everything's okay. So that's honestly, for me, that's probably one of the primary things.
Great, yeah. So the focus on that gear and getting cards and batteries, and we still definitely feel the pain of not having a couple of those cameras on Wynnewood, but you kind of...
It makes for a nice quiet ride home, though.
Yes,
it does.
No kidding. Everyone's stewing in their regret. Well, thanks for that, Jeff. Gabe, what about you? What are some of the things that are kind of going on in your mind in the 24 hours leading up to Chase morning and then Chase morning itself?
So the night before, I like to have a good lock on where my target's going to be, as good as I can get the night before. That way I can wake up the next morning within several hours of my target. Because as we all know, we've all experienced this, it is a sickening feeling trying to catch up to an event that's unfolding because you started too far away. So the night before, I am checking the NAM, the NAM 3K, and if it's within close enough range, the HER, and driving several hours in order to wake up in a great position. And then the morning of is a lot of second guessing yourself and triple checking your forecast against the Storm Prediction Center. We love the Storm Prediction Center, and we definitely use their tornado outlines, but that is not our gospel truth. Several occasions where we have been outside of the higher risk zone based on how forecasts are evolving. And then the drive there, we don't just check out when we're driving to our target. It's constant updates. Every hour, a new HER is rolled out, and we're checking it to see what the trends are going to be. And then, of course, the day of, you need all of your surface observations to see what is actually happening with the weather and not what is forecast to happen. It's important to know what is currently happening when you wake up, because that is going to dictate whether or not you believe what the forecast models are saying. Because a lot of times they'll show stuff that's not even actually happening. And that's when basically you can throw it out at that point because it's got a bad handle on the day.
Yeah, I think that's something great to note, that information isn't always good. something wrong, kind of like a fly in the ointment. Some of the things I look at on chase morning, I'm pretty amateur in my chase morning routine. I'll often defer to a member of my chasing team, so I highly recommend chasing with some trusted friends. But I'll start looking at roads and kind of road availability, highway systems. Am I headed towards something that has a great grid network, or am I heading to a place that has some geography getting in the way that kind of splits up the road system? So those are the things I'm thinking about, because maybe it's kind of post-traumatic stress of getting caught in bad road areas in the past, but it's kind of a live and learn strategy that I've definitely adopted myself. Well, this has been Tracker Chat. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Jeremy Heyman, and I've been joined by my chasing partners, Gabe Cox and Jeff Mangum. We are the Tornado Trackers, and you can find us everywhere on social media at Tornado Trackers, and our website is tornadotrackers.org. Thank you again for joining us on Tracker Chat, and we will see you next time.
Okay, welcome back. So we're here with Mark and Bobby from OUTBRK. And so my question to you guys is this. So I've seen a couple of the videos of some of the work you guys have been doing. Looks awesome. I mean, it's obviously very exciting. But here's my question. If you're taking out the part of chasing, which is those long drives on the lonely roads, in the Central Plains, which, yes, is boring, but takes up time. If the game is going to be something where I get on and I'm finding a tornado or have the ability to find a tornado almost right away, and I see a digital tornado, I guess how many times can I see that where I'm just like, this game really isn't fun anymore because tornadoes pop up right away. I can find them right away, and they kind of look, it's a digital tornado. What's going to keep me coming back?
Yeah,
I think, Bobby, you want to go first?
Yeah. So I was just going to say, first of all, the immersion in the game is insane. When you're there, you really feel like you're there. The driving, the taking out the long drives is just at the beginning. I mean, you still have to drive to actually chase, and we're looking at chases. We've looked at some sped up chases that we could set up a game to only last 30 minutes. We're also looking at 2-3 hour chases, so it's true to life on the generation of the storm. You watch the Tornado Genesis, all the features showing up and stuff like that. On top of that, you're competing against however many people we can fit in the server, whether it's 60, 100, I don't know. You're competing against them to get the best shots because you can snap pictures and stuff like that. And on top of all of that, the storm's different every time. I mean, it's the what will drive you for it, what will drive you to get out there is the same thing that drives you to get out on the plains now, if that makes sense.
So you're using different scenarios like El Reno. Is there a Sharknado scenario?
You always have the serious question.
We haven't planned on any Sharknado scenario.
I'm just saying.
But if I may add some things, when you said like you appear in the game and then tornado starts forming, well, it's not exactly like that. So as Bobby said, you have to choose your target. So if you spawn in a location that is not where like the storms will happen, then you're just gonna have to drive like really fast and try to get there before it ends. But even if you're like in a good position, you have to pick your storm, because when you spawn, there's no like big supercell already. Well, there will be sometimes, but most of the time it's going to be like the TCU field, and then it's gonna like get bigger really quickly because we want the games to start at initiation time. So like it's when the storms fires up. So when you get in the game, that's what you see. You see a bunch of storms forming, and then you have to pick like the right one, and you have access to weather data to see that. So you can see like, oh, there's more moisture there. There's this outflow boundary sitting there. So maybe I'm going to pick that storm. And then the whole like strategic point comes in, and I think that's what's going to make a big difference in not just seeing a 3D tornado and taking pictures or whatever, because you're going to have to think and actually make your own forecast and just go for it. And then there's the competitive side with the probes and things like that.
Are there a bunch of different places you can spawn? I mean, are you like, could you end up like, oh crap, I'm in Maine? You know, like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, like the map is being designed right now, so it's going to be like a condensed version of we picked some of the most important things, well, from my chasing experience. So like north is going to be like the North Plains, west is going to be like the northwest will be like Colorado, and then southwest would be more like New Mexico, and then the south of the map will be like Texas with a, you know, like the Gulf of Mexico edge. And all the east of the map will be what we call jungle. So that's gonna add to
my neck of the woods right there.
Yeah.
Bobby's in the jungle.
So what kind of forecasting skills is someone going to have, and what forecasting resources will be provided in the game?
So what we plan on doing is there will be like easier ones and there will be like harder ones. So like the easier ones you can relate pretty much on the in-game SPC, because there will be outlooks, there will be like official forecasts in game, and then you will have access to like everything that's useful in doing a forecast for a chase, like in the morning. So you'll have like surface data, you'll have like where's the jet at different levels, and you'll be able to make your own forecasts. And like the harder ones, for example, will be like, and the SPC gives like a risk at some place, but you know that there's a high risk for a cap bust, whereas there is an outflow boundary sitting south in an okay environment. Then you just go there because sometimes magic happens in outflow boundaries. So you know that there's going to be like harder days like that where everyone's going to rush to the SPC forecasted zone, and then it's going to happen like south of there.
Yeah.
So
plus you're going to get tons of ideas. I could see this thing really kicking into high gear, and then you come out with like Outbreak 2, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and to speak to that, one of the things we've stressed a lot in our Discord server is that there's no end game yet. Like there's no this is where we say that Outbreak is good and done. It will always constantly be improved upon. So we're, you know, that's we've already got a massive backlog of everything we want to add after the initial release, and you know it'll just continue on like that.
Is there any way to incorporate like real-time data, like, you know, they're forecasting 2 days from now severe weather outbreak, that somehow you can get involved with something that's more happening at the time? Is that even possible?
It's like in the fantasy 3.0 version that's in my mind. So like at some point, if we have the resources to do that, it would be possible, because for that to happen, we would need like a supercomputer at home, like sitting there and plugged into a server, and that would analyze the data for us and just like throw it in time for it to be playable before the event actually happens. So yeah, that would require a lot of resources, but that would be possible.
You know, if you want to borrow
it'd keep a lot of the chasers off the road because they'd want to play it on the game.
That's right.
So they'd have a little more space to drive.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna make sure like that happens, because I don't like chasing when there's too many people on the road. So I'm just gonna put some more money in the game.
Hey guys, if you want to borrow my Cray computer, it's over here. You can just use that.
Your Commodore 64.
Right.
So Bobby, what platforms are you wanting to develop this for?
Initially, it's going to be a Steam release on PC, so that's just a given. It's probably the easiest platform to release on. We've tossed out using the Epic Launcher and a few other ones, but I think Steam is the way we want to go. We have talked about building it for consoles, Xbox and PlayStation. I think that's in a later version after the initial release, but it's definitely something we want to try and do. I don't think we have any plans to do mobile at this time, because the amount that is running on this game, mobile phones still wouldn't be able to run it right now.
Yeah, it's too big. Everything is big, like clouds and everything. Like, most games don't have such big 3D objects going in the game.
Right.
And what makes you think because I think this is the challenge. I mean, really, you haven't seen storm chasing video games produced yet, right? I mean, we've talked with another company as well that's been had one here and is working on one, but nothing's come out, which leads me to believe, for the most part, is there enough general public support for something like that to even make sense putting money into producing a video game like this? I mean, obviously there's a bunch of weather freaks like us that would love it, but are there enough of us in the general public that would want it?
I think that's why we're adding a competitive side to the game and something more like, how can I say that? Something more like game design wise, it's more like the fun part of it, like traditional gaming. Instead of just being a storm chasing simulator, we add a video game standard fun thing to it. And
go ahead. Just wanted to throw out too. It's kind of sort of like the battle royale scene. In fact, when we're going through it, you kind of feel it. Each time you play is a story. It's something new happens. And you were asking the question earlier of what about non-chasers? People who don't necessarily know how to forecast, and they just have to look at the outlooks and hope for the best. We're constantly trying to think of ways to add in attraction for that side of the gaming community. One of the things that we plan on doing is adding in a partner element, sort of like squads or duos, but it's where you can drive with a partner and your partner has to do all the navigating while you're doing all the driving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that people can get more of the community feel. Plus, we want a big community around it to help out the younger people who don't know how to do the forecasting and stuff.
Did you guys ever think about making this kind of an educational game as well? I could see, in my dynamic class in college, or something where it'd be kind of fun to have as a class do this. You could learn a lot from doing this, I would think. And maybe, I don't know if you thought about an educational side of it, and maybe even tutorials on chasing or certain things you look for, that kind of stuff.
Field trip.
Yeah, and I think with any good game you see out there, they usually have really good tutorials in the beginning to just kind of walk you through the base level, and everything after that is stuff you have to learn from just playing and practicing. And learn from the pros and stuff like that. We do have a lot of people who want to see customizations and things like that. Cosmetic things seem to be a big hit right now. So a lot of people want to be able to customize their cars and stuff like that. Cool. So there's like other elements that we're trying to add in to get that traction going.
I just don't want to have to revisit my calculus class. Okay, Kim.
I didn't say calculus. I did not say calculus.
I'd rather kill sharks in Sharknado.
So Mark, let me go to Bobby first on this. So Bobby, you talked a little bit about customizing your vehicles. I know you've got a couple. You guys both have some announcements you want to share with your followers and with our listeners and viewers. I believe one of them has to do with being able to customize your vehicles, and I think that's exciting for people, right? That I earn points, I earn money, and I can buy new things to add to my chase vehicle. What are some of the announcements you guys want to make on that?
Do you have a drum roll sound that you can?
No, I don't. I've got. We'll clap. There you go. Our studio audience isn't the brightest studio audience, so we kind of.
Wow.
A couple things.
It's a merger with Forza, isn't it? You guys got to drive fast.
Oh man. So I actually wanted to turn this one to Mark because he kind of drove he
got it. Okay.
Got this going. So Mark, you take it. That.
All right. So. We got contacted by someone that we really like and admire, and he told us you should use our vehicle in your video game, and that's Sean Chauffeur. So that means that in Outbreak, we're going to officially use the Dominator as the tornado tank vehicle. So that's one.
Fun.
And then
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
It's
That
perfect.
definitely deserves another applause from our studio
Yeah.
audience.
That's perfect.
it's already being modeled right now, so I got like hundreds of pictures of the vehicle, and we just had like a modeler doing like a very exact replica of it. And yeah, what else?
Any
We're
other from the
gonna
vehicle side of things, or go ahead?
I'm
Keep
sorry,
going.
what?
Keep going. Keep going. I just
All right,
I didn't
so-
know if you had any other vehicle, like what other kind of vehicles there would be, or is that the ultimate, obtain the tank vehicle, which is going to be the Dominator?
Yeah, that would be like the ultimate one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
We're
we're
also-
looking at it as a like one-time use sort of thing. It takes a lot to earn it, but when you can earn it, you can use it. And
It's one of
and
those. It's one of those things. Yeah, when you're out chasing on your video game and you see it, you're like, I'm screwed. This dude's been playing for 800 hours and earned the Dominator, and I'm still driving in my Toyota Camry.
Yeah, that's going to be like really hard to earn vehicle. And we're also going to have the Predator. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly because my English sucks a little bit.
Predator, yeah.
Yeah, Predator. And it's from a member of the same team, so it's like an armored Jeep vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty cool. And finally, we're having their probe, which is the Taz one. It's their latest probe system that they use in the field. And then just because video games are like meant to use this kind of object, we're gonna have their probe rocket launcher, so that you can
A probe
you can,
rocket
like,
launcher. Yeah.
throw probes at storms. It's gonna fly towards the tornado, and you can hope that. And that kind of object is gonna be like really rare and single use. So like let's say like you have a very nice interception, you get a lot of points, you get probe data, you do nice reports. So at the end of the day, you get a lot of points, and then you just buy this rocket launcher thing that you can use only one time, and you got to use it wisely.
Is that
So
an
then-
RPP instead of an RPG? Rocket propelled probe.
No, here's what I'm going to use it as when I earn that rocket propelled probe, and I see someone who's been playing for 800 hours drive by in the Dominator. I'm going to say, screw the tornado. I'm going to eye the dude that's going to hit the tornado, and I'm not going to get it anyway. I may as well use my rocket launcher on something.
Oh.
Yeah, we absolutely expect stuff like that to happen, and we're kind of excited for the the streaming community to get a hold of it. And
Can you crash into each other's
videos.
cars? I mean,
Oh, yeah,
is there
absolutely.
possibilities for that too? Oh boy.
So there is a health system. There's a health for yourself, because if you're caught out in them, like I don't know what baseball size hail, you probably don't be out there for very long. So if you can be hit by it, you can be struck by lightning. You can and your car itself can take damage, not only physical damage or visible damage like the windshield breaking and things like that, but also you have a certain amount of health for the vehicle before it's no longer drivable. And so far right now, when it's no longer drivable, it just explodes and you die. But
Yeah, and you guys will like it. I've seen some of the example gameplay, and when you start getting hit by hail, your view starts getting bloody around the outer edges.
yeah, well, I mean,
Right.
you took a hailstone to the noggin. I
Yeah,
feel like
You're dying. So Bobby, tell
Wow.
me, is there a goal? Is there a goal for at least getting some kind of beta version out or something out to at least test it? Is there a date for anything like that?
Sure. Yeah. So we are currently working on. We've been talking about this for a while. We're trying to work on a Kickstarter campaign to fund all of the bigger pieces, such as like the rendering, like the shading engine and stuff like that. We there's a lot of stuff that the money will go back into. So we've been talking about doing it for a long time, but officially we have decided that we are going to launch the Kickstarter in June this year.
Cool.
And that's going to be everybody's first chance to make pledges, all of that stuff, but ultimately to sign up for free copies or discounted copies, different types of things, as well as other rewards. But everybody who joins, I don't remember what level we were setting it at, but we're gonna offer pretty much all the funders or the backers the ability to get into the pre-alpha, and which will be, I don't know. We don't have a date for that one just yet.
Okay, so reach out to State Farm, and when you need to upgrade your vehicle from a crash site, have the khaki red pant guy show up.
There you go.
And
Maybe we can get Doritos in here. Big away.
So, all right. So, tell me a little bit, Mark. How can our listeners and viewers find more information about this and see some of these videos that we've been talking about? Direct people to where they can go.
Best way right now is to join our Discord server. You probably all know what Discord is. It's some kind of chat software and website, and you have different servers. So we have our own servers with channels, and we announce everything there. We show some exclusive material and screenshots and videos and funny stuff. And then you have our Twitch channel, which is OUTBRK Game, all in one word. You're probably gonna link it.
We'll put the links in the show notes.
But yeah, we have also
if you can
all
send
our
that to
social
me.
media. And Bobby, I don't know if you have anything else.
Yeah, so I don't know if you mentioned we have Facebook, facebook.com/OUTBRKGame. And in case you guys aren't aware, Outbreak is spelled OUTBRK. There's no EA in the in this game at all. And that means two things. So
no electronic arts. All right.
I got you.
So but yeah, I mean, we are on Facebook. We also are on Twitter. We pretty much cross post to all of them. I think we are even on Instagram. Yeah. So any one of those will usually get you all the announcements about our streams. Sometimes Mark likes to do random gaming streams with just little games with the followers and stuff like that. Other times we do full-on official development streams where we show off the latest progress. We show how things go. But yeah, Discord is active.
It's a really important thing that we like doing streams, like official streams where we show the latest improvements to the game. I think it's really important to let people see the development process, since we're a small team, since we're like looking for funding with the Kickstarter project thing. So when you're doing this, I think it's really important that people trust you and see what you're actually doing and see that you're hardworking and just improving stuff. So that's what we're doing like every day.
Very good. Awesome. Well, hey, that's the sound. It is time for our lightning round, gentlemen.
Right.
So this is our game show of flashy questions for our guests. We always invite everybody that's watching or listening to play along as well. But tonight we're going to play a little video game cash cab. So video game cash cab. So if you're familiar with cash cab, it's a video game. You get in a cab. You just think it's a cab that's going to take you somewhere. But by the time you get in the cab, they tell you, hey, it's a game show, and they're going to take you to where you're going. And on your way there, they're going to ask you questions that you can earn money on. But if you answer any of the questions, I think you get 3 wrong. If you answer any 3 wrong, they let you off wherever they happen to be at that point, and the game's over, and you don't get any money.
It's like Psycho Uber.
That's basically what we're going to do. So the first 4 questions are worth $25. The next 4 questions are worth $50. The last question is $100. And if you make it all the way without getting 3 wrong, you'll get a final bonus question where you can double all the fake money that we're not going to give you.
Oh, good.
Or nothing. It's an all or nothing.
It's like, we don't have a budget. Better be fake money.
You can decide what you want to do. So here we go. So you guys are playing together. Okay, and you have 2 lifelines. You have Ask the Freak. So if you're not sure, you can ask the freaks, and they'll give you their best answer. And we also have another one called Check the Internet. So I'm going to give you a second to quick get on your phone or your computer. You can check the internet, see if you can find the answer. Otherwise, no cheating. Okay, no cheating.
Okay.
So here we go, gentlemen. Question number 1 for $25. What was Mario's original name? These are video game questions. What was Mario's original name?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mario? Wow, you don't know Mario? Like what was his name in Donkey Kong? Because that's where he was found first.
He had another name?
You can use a lifeline if you'd like, or guess and get wrong, I guess. I don't know.
Man, I'd hate to use a lifeline so early, but I feel like we have to ask.
All right, so what do you want to do? Check the internet or ask the freaks?
Ask the freaks.
Let's
Really?
ask the freaks. All right. Well, you guys,
Sure?
a bunch of old people. They figure you might know this one.
That's
All right. So Kim, Maz, MJ, you guys have any idea what Mario's original name was? And I'm giving the hint in Donkey Kong.
And that helps.
yeah. Donkey.
All right. So guys, they're not helping you out at all.
Sorry. Tony. Was it like Tony, Luigi, and
Take
Mario?
a guess. Take a guess.
Oh, Luigi, maybe. Or is that some? I don't know.
That's his
All right,
brother.
guys.
I thought.
That's his
ahead.
brother. Okay.
Mark and Bobby, what's your guess? What do you say?
Yeah, let's go with Tony.
Tony. That is incorrect.
Oh.
It's Jumpman. Jumpman.
Hey.
What?
That was his name.
What
All right.
the heck?
Braxton
one-
Online got
God,
it right.
You guys,
That's
that was
like
only-
people smoking in a room going, what do you call him? Jump man, I don't know.
All right, here we go. Question 2, $25. What kind of Pokemon is strong against Charmander? What kind of Pokemon
boy.
is strong against Charmander? What type?
What
One's
type?
easy.
What type?
What type? Yeah, not
Oh.
which one, but what type of Pokemon?
Water?
It's water.
Water? That would be correct. It
All
is water
right.
for $25.
Charmander is
Very good.
fire.
All
That's
right.
good.
Question 3, $25. Who is the main character in the Splinter Cell series? Who's the main character in the Splinter Cell series?
Oh, what's his name?
You guys know?
Dang, where's a millennial when you need one?
Isn't it Snake?
Really?
All right. What's your answer?
I would say Solid Snake.
That would be incorrect. It would be Sam
That's
Fisher.
Metal Gear.
Sam
Yeah.
Fisher.
Sam Fisher,
Oh,
Splinter Cell.
I got
So
it.
that's your second wrong answer. You only got one more.
We're about
Hey,
to
Kim,
Yeah.
we were so close in our
I
thinking.
know.
weren't we?
The one time they should have asked us.
The final $25 question. Which of the following is not a playable character in the Super Smash Brothers series? Not
Is
a
this the
playable
Brawl?
character. Is it Ms. Pac-Man, Cloud, Captain Falcon, or Solid Snake? Which is not a playable character in Super Smash Brothers?
Mark, I'm pretty sure it's Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
got the
Yeah.
last
Is
wrong.
that your answer, Ms. Pac-Man? That would be correct.
Dang.
$50.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. We're up to $50
We're gonna get rich.
questions. $50 questions. Yeah, keep
Freaking
pushing.
Kickstarter.
We're gonna play on this all the way.
Which of the following is not a real game? Is it Spyro Bandicoot Spinnin', Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine, Hotel Mario, or Banjo Kazooie Grunty's Revenge?
Oh boy.
Spyro Bandicoot Spinnin', Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine, Hotel
has to be-
Mario, or Banjo Kazooie Grunty's Revenge?
Mark, any ideas?
You know,
I want to say
There-
the Spyro game.
yeah, the only
it's
Bandicoot is
Kickstarter.
Crash, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the only Bandicoot I know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
All right, so you say
let's
Spyro
go with
Bandicoot?
that.
Spyro Bandicoot.
That would be correct. For $50, you guys are up to $100. Next question. What is the Master Chief's first name? Master Chief's first name.
Oh, it starts with a J. I think it's John. It's either John or James. I'm pretty sure it's John, but I don't know. Do you know?
Not at all. Maybe
So
I can
what's your
ask a Vietnamese.
I think it's John.
Say John.
Yes.
John is
Ding,
correct.
ding.
You're up to
Wow.
$150.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, next question. Which console came first? GameCube, PS2, Xbox, or Dreamcast? Which of those four game consoles came first? GameCube, PS2, Xbox, or Dreamcast?
I'd say Dreamcast.
Dreamcast. Yeah.
Dreamcast it is, up to $200. All right, your
around
final
it.
$50 question. Yoshi first appeared in which game? Yoshi first appeared in which game?
Oh, so the first Mario game I ever played was Super Mario Brothers, which Yoshi appeared in that one. I don't know if he appeared in any before that.
I have no idea, Bobby.
You want to use Lifeline?
You can use the internet. Internet is still a lifeline.
That's a good one.
Yeah, let's use it.
Let's
Okay,
use that
so
one.
you guys can
let's do
I'll
that.
give you a couple seconds. Jump on the internet. Find out what was the first game that Yoshi appeared in.
You need a Jeopardy theme song or something.
We need a little something. We'll give a little.
Mhm.
Oh, Google autocorrect.
I have an answer.
Our online folks.
He's got an answer. Okay, what's your answer?
Made its
Super
first-
Mario World.
Yep.
Super Mario World. That would be
Wow.
correct. Good use of your
All right.
lifeline.
Nice job.
All right, up to $250. Here is your final question before the bonus. If you get this correct, you have a chance for the bonus. So, but you're out of lifeline. So, how many Uncharted games are there in the Naughty Dog series Uncharted? How many games are there?
Oh no.
Wasn't this a question from last week?
Sounds like
What kind of a laugh is that?
I don't know. I've actually finished my Colt 45.
How many
that was a
Uncharted
good
games
one.
are in the Naughty Dog series? What's your answer, guys?
I've heard of 3. I don't know where I've heard of after that.
It might be 4 just because you think it's 3.
The confidence.
Good friends. Good friends.
No, I say go for it. Yeah, let's do that. I say 4.
4?
What was your answer? That would be incorrect. There was an Uncharted 4, but there was a 5th game. It's called The Lost Legacy, which is standalone expansion as well. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to drop you off where we're at. We didn't quite get you from Vietnam to Montreal. So we're going to throw you off into the ocean.
And your flight is delayed.
But anyway,
really?
guys, hey, thanks for playing along. That was awesome. You guys are outstanding. So, hey, we're going to take our final break. We've got our new Tornado Talk segment with the story of the January 1999 tornadoes, and we'll be right back with Weather Trollbot 5000 is actually making her way in. Right, oh, there, yep, there she is. She's coming. We'll be right back.
Per the Storm Prediction Center, 212 tornadoes occurred in January of 1999. This is the greatest number of tornadoes to occur in January since records began in 1950. 2 of the twisters were rated F4 and 14 were given an F3 rating. There was a total of 18 fatalities and close to 350 injuries. 22 of the 212 tornadoes occurred on January 17th of 1999. The strongest of the day was an F4 that moved through parts of Jackson, Tennessee. This tornado formed east of Bemis and tracked to the northeast for 16 miles. It moved through the southern part of Jackson. The Hollywood Shopping Center had severe damage, and a funeral home near it was demolished, except for interior rooms. Over 200 homes were destroyed, and 300 more had lesser damage. The building that houses school buses for the county was destroyed. 55 school buses were damaged. There were over 100 injuries and 6 fatalities due to this tornado. A large outbreak of tornadoes occurred from January 21st to the 22nd. The Storm Prediction Center database shows 129 tornadoes during this time. On the 21st, there was one F4 tornado. It moved through Clay County, Arkansas. Near the start of the track, 2 homes were destroyed on County Road 238. Several other homes were damaged, and 2 tractor-trailer trucks were rolled over. There were no fatalities or injuries due to this tornado. Also on the 21st, 8 F3 tornadoes occurred in the state of Arkansas and 1 in Louisiana. One of the F3s devastated parts of Little Rock. This tornado developed in eastern Saline County. There was extensive tree damage found and a mobile home was destroyed. And then the tornado strengthened as it moved to the northeast into Pulaski County. Initially in the county, there was tree damage and a business along I-30 5 miles southwest of Little Rock that had roof damage. Significant damage, though, occurred as the tornado moved into the eastern section of downtown. At least 235 structures sustained heavy damage or were destroyed. This included homes in the historic district that were built at the turn of the century, and the governor's mansion was damaged. This tornado dissipated near the Sherwood area. There were 3 fatalities. Another devastating F3 traveled 8 miles and 11 minutes through parts of White County, Arkansas. It developed 1 mile southwest of Beebe and moved to the northeast through town, causing tremendous damage. The new junior high school on Center Street had significant damage, and the gym behind the school was destroyed. Damage occurred to the fire department and to a church. 2 pickup trucks were flipped upside down on Hickory Street, and many old houses on Main Street were damaged or destroyed. After hearing of the approaching severe weather, a girls' basketball game was canceled at halftime, and the upcoming boys' game was called off. The tornado hit the high school gym a half hour later. The building was empty. There were 2 fatalities in Beebe. A woman died in her home, and in another home, an infant boy was killed. The tornado left the Beebe area and moved toward McRae. The old fire station lost a wall, and the new fire station was destroyed. Several mobile homes were overturned near that new fire station, and the post office sustained heavy damage. On January 22nd, 43 tornadoes occurred across parts of the South. 2 of the strongest were rated F3 and crossed through parts of Tennessee. One of the tornadoes struck at 4:15 a.m. Central Time. It moved 4.3 miles through the heart of Clarksville, Tennessee. Photo editor Fred Dye of the Leaf Chronicle stated, quote, "It looked like somebody walked through with a broom and knocked over whatever was loose enough to knock down." A 5-block area of downtown was destroyed. 22 buildings were severely damaged at Austin Peay State University, and the Montgomery County Courthouse, quote, "was in ruins." The Leaf Chronicle newspaper office was severely damaged, and per the storm data narrative, the newspaper set up a temporary office in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Several old churches were damaged in the town of Clarksville. There was a total of 124 buildings destroyed in Clarksville and 562 damaged. There were 5 injuries and no fatalities. Detailed summaries on some of these historic events from January 1999 can be found on our website at tornadotalk.com. These include maps, images, and newspaper clips. Do you have tornado stories or pictures you'd like to share? We would love to hear from you. Go to the Contact Us portion in the About section of our website and send us an email. You can get hooked on more tornado history by following us on social media.
All right, welcome back to WX Resources. Time now to find new places out there on the internet, cool places to go to check out weather stuff. Kim, you've got something this week.
I do, and I'm actually going to plug one of my old coworkers, Stu Ostro. You guys, familiar with him?
Yeah, he's a great Twitter follow.
He is, and actually, it's what I'm going to be sharing with everybody.
Okay.
So, Stu, as you know, has been with the Weather Channel now for 30 years. Okay, wow. So he's been there for a long time. He was there when I got there, and just a fantastic meteorologist, brilliant, such a weather geek. And I'm trying to get him on the show, and I'm hoping one day we'll be able to do that. But anyway, so here's his Twitter account, and Stu, his wife is a fabulous photographer. So the two of them together are just a tremendous team. But he has always some absolutely gorgeous weather pictures, a lot of good cloud pictures, but also a lot of good weather information. He's always showing the models and describing what he's seeing. And I think it's just really good stuff on here, and a lot of good satellite images, just really fascinating stuff. But the one thing I want to point out too, you can get a lot of good weather information from Stu on this Twitter account. But also, if you scroll down and you get to December 27th of last year, every year Stu puts out a compilation of the top meteorological images of the year, and it's fantastic. And I really encourage everyone who loves to look at weather images to go to this. And it's his 13th annual, and you just click on here. It'll take you to this site. Hang on here. And you just scroll down, and it has anything on here from some of the major storms of the year, some incredible satellite radar images, as you can see here, as Hurricane Michael comes in, just the radar loop of that. But also, of course, typhoons and the eyes.
Very cool. All right, Bobby, you've got something tonight. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, so when y'all talked before about this, I thought of the perfect learning resource. So I'm friends with Zach Roberts. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's Mr. Twister. He does. He's pretty prevalent on social media and stuff like that. And for the longest time, he did storm photography and all that stuff. Last year, he partnered with Jason Weingart, who is another storm chaser, pretty commonly out in the plains and stuff. And they wrote a book. They put together a book. Can I do a screen share on here? I feel like I can.
Sure. Yeah.
So let me see if I can do that.
If Kim can do it, you can do it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
She gives hope to everybody, doesn't she? I love it.
Let's just throw this up here. Holy cow. Okay. Can you guys see that?
You got it.
Okay, so ignore the price on here. I'm just using this for the pictures. You actually have to go through a different channel to actually get this. But basically, they wrote this book called The Anatomy of Severe Weather, and what's really cool about it is it has all of their high resolution images and stuff like that. But from a learning perspective, and I have this book. I bought it the minute it came out. They actually show the anatomy and all the different motions, the movement of the winds. They help label out what caused the storm to act the way it is. And they use these plastic overlays with the data, so you can see the picture without it, and then you can lay it back over and see it with it.
Oh, that's
And it is,
Yeah.
you can see it. You can see it there. It's that's the overlay, the way they do it. So it is an incredible book. I've thumbed through it countless numbers of times. There's a lot of stories behind it and stuff like that. And if you follow Mr. Twister on Twitter and Facebook, and he also has a Patreon that's helping support a new docuseries he's coming out with. It's good information, and it really it helped me a lot, like last year especially.
That's good stuff.
That's awesome. I love that.
That is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. All right, thanks, Bobby. That was excellent. Okay, MJ, the quiet one. What do you have?
Here I am. I have one that was submitted by a listener, and I'll just describe it real quick because it's pretty simple. But we had a listener said, love the podcast, has a suggestion for a resource. And his resource was weathernationtv.com. And many of you are familiar with Weather Nation. It's another, they do broadcasts, and they do, other types of forecasts and weather shows and so on. And so I thought, well, I'll take a look at it. But what really caught me was it is just dead simple to, if you want a site to go to that you just really easily, here you get the forecast, you get a drop down that you can add locations. You can have 6 locations, 7 locations, and it pulls up very quickly. It has a little bit of advertising, but it's not overly populated as some of the sites sometimes are, where it's just so much thrown at you, you can't even see what you're looking for. So it was really, really, really simple, and I like that. So I thought I'd give them a plug.
Sounds like the old weather.com.
Yeah, right. Before.
Original.
Yeah.
Thank you, MJ. Appreciate it. Okay, Phil, you going to round us out on this one?
Sure, I'm gonna. So right now, everybody knows we're in a government shutdown, and of course, what comes from that is the fact that the National Weather Service field offices are still working, but they're not getting paid. So they're still doing the diligent job of forecasting and warning and watching us and everything else, watching us. But so here's the thing: what this is potentially going to threaten is we're starting to get into storm season. And the National Weather Service conducts all of these storm spotter training classes around the country. And it could threaten these. We might not, depending on how long this sucker lasts, it will threaten some storm spotting classes and prevent us from being able to train more people how to keep a lookout for this stuff and warn the National Weather Service, who in turn can warn us. So here's something I want to share. We've talked about this before, but it's the Comet MET-Ed training website. It's www, which I don't even know why I said that, but it's the meted.ucar.edu. And if you go to the site and you type in and just search Skywarn, one of the first things that comes up is the Skywarn spotter training. You can actually take spotter training right here online. Goes through 2 core topics: role of the Skywarn spotter and Skywarn spotter convective basics. And if you go through those, it'll let you know, it gives you a certificate, says you've completed these. You can share that with your local NWS field office, and they can give you the details on how to contact them if you see any severe weather, or to report any other weather observations like snowfall amounts, etc. We need more people to do this, and I think a lot of the people that watch and listen to us, my guess is a lot of you already have this. So it's more of a plea not for you to take the class unless you don't have it, but also to share this information with people you know. If we don't get a chance to go to storm spotting classes this spring, this could be an opportunity to still make sure we spread the word, get more people trained on what to look for, how to spot a funnel cloud, tornado, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. And to our brothers and sisters at NOAA and NWS, hang in there.
Keep fighting the fight.
You bet.
That's right. That's right. All right. Thank you, guys. Hey, so if you want to check out all the links on this, you can go to stormfrontfreaks.com Check out episode 71 show notes for all the latest links on the things that you saw for this evening. Phil?
All right. Well, thanks, Maz. All right. So I kind of teased everybody that we were bringing back on the show tonight, we're bringing back Weather Trollbot 5000. So Weather Trollbot 5000 we found in a garage sale. We paid a few bucks for because it was a robot. And we thought, this might be cool to use this robot to input weather trolls, people that are trolling our weather friends in the industry with stupid stuff. And our weather friends are coming back with a nice professional response, right? But the Weather Trollbot we've programmed to really find out what that weather friend was thinking when they wrote their response. Now, I need to warn everybody.
Oh, great.
And warn the kiddos, right? Put the earmuffs on the kiddos tonight, because Weather Trollbot, we don't have a governor on her, and she'll spew out whatever the person actually was thinking, even though they gave a very nice response. So let's test this out. So we got 3 of them we're going to put in tonight and kind of see what happens. The first one, of course, is a friend of ours, has been on the show before, Ginger Z, and she's always very eloquent in her responses to some of these trolls. But
we love Ginger. She's awesome.
Ginger. Yeah, she's great. I totally agree. So this was on Twitter, and this was from Teresa Carnes. Teresa said, Ginger Z, you do realize that not everyone lives in the Northeast, right? You are the reason I hate watching the weather on GMA.
Wow.
And so Ginger, as sweet as she is, she came back. She said, hey, I'm so sorry to hear that. I totally understand, as my family is in Michigan and California, Texas, Arkansas, and Florida. I talk about weather wherever the headline is. Yesterday, it was all about San Francisco and the Sierra. Did you miss that one? So that was her response, right? Very, very nice, very eloquent. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug this into our Weather Trollbot here. Type in the response, type in everything else, and then we're gonna have to do a little computing. And then we got to find out here what she might have actually been thinking when she typed this all up. I'm not exactly sure, but let's find out. So kick it out here and let's see.
Here's what Ginger Z was really thinking. Hi, Teresa. Sorry, I'm not giving the forecast for the 1,200 people living in your hometown of Fairfield Beach, Ohio. If you have not checked your geography lately, the Northeast has a few more people living there. Take your own advice and stop watching the GMA weather so I don't have to hear you bitching about it.
Okay, so Ginger was very sweet, but what she was really thinking was, you got 1,200 people living in your town, so that's probably why she's not talking about that. But still, Ginger's nice. She still wasn't thinking that bad, right? I mean, that was pretty good.
Right.
I'm still trying to find.
All right,
wait,
I
Ginger.
gotta go.
I gotta find Fairfield Beach on the map. I don't know where that is.
Fairfield Beach, Ohio. Well, it's a hometown
I don't know.
of
Must be near.
1,200 people. All right, so the next one we've got here. This is from I don't even know what this is. 9 all on Twitter. And this was to Sherry Spear, who's from Boston 25. She's a morning meteorologist for Boston 25. But 9 all said, hey, another year and another year of getting people paranoid. Weather people love this. Talk and talk about a storm, then we miss it or they get it wrong. Best job in the world. Maz, you'll like this. Don't have to be right or close and never get fired. Not easy, but wait a little before predictions. Jeesh.
I got one thing to say. That's right.
Yeah, what were you thinking? Right? So here was Sherry's response. Sherry, very pleasant, said, hey, my tweet said that it's too soon for details. So I'm scaring people by simply telling them it could snow Sunday. That's my job, preparing people for the weather. If you prefer to be ignorant, then don't look at the forecast. Okay. So that was her Twitter response. So I'm going to go ahead and type this in. And I want to see what Weather Trollbot 5000 really thinks. Maybe, I don't know if this is entirely it, but maybe if this is what Sherry was thinking when she put this all in. Let's find out.
Here's what Sherry Spear was really thinking. Gotta love how ignorant fucks like you only read what they want to hear.
Woo.
Part of my job requires trying to predict the future so people can prepare. Most appreciate being able to prepare for the worst and happy when the worst does not strike. Of course, some ass clowns should not look at the forecast. And yes, I am pointing my finger at you. My middle finger.
Whoa!
Oh, well.
Shots fired.
Wow.
Shots fired across the bow, definitely on that one. Interesting, Sherry. And I don't think we've had Sherry her responses, so now we know she's thinking some deep stuff. All right, the last one we've got is from Jill Riel. Jill is a meteorologist in New York, and she got an email. This was actually an email that she shared, and she crossed out the last word, but it's from Jack. So it's from Jack. He said, "Your clothing choices suck. You look like a schlump. Can't you upgrade your stuff to set an example?" Yep, very straightforward. And Jill came back and said, "I think Jack should buy me a new wardrobe. I'll gladly accept." Okay, so that's what Jill responded. So again, she was real nice, but I got to enter this because we know Weather Trollbot's going to find something good. That Jill
What city? What city was it?
She's in New York.
All right.
She's in New York. So let's find out maybe what Weather Trollbot. She thinks of lots of strange things, but we're gonna find out what she's really thinking.
Here's what Jill Reale was really thinking. Fuck you, Jack.
Okay, so short, simple, and sweet.
Wow.
All right? Wow. Okay, Jill. Jill's got a short fuse. Is maybe what I'm thinking. She's
all right.
She's interested in that. So. All right, so hey, let's do this. We're gonna say goodbye to Weather. We're gonna put Weather Trollbot 5000. We might demote Weather Trollbot to the Weather Trollbot 4000. I'm thinking after
the
that.
views of the Weather Trollbot are not necessary.
Do not
The
necessary.
views of everybody. Yeah,
Thank you.
And you got to remember, we bought her at a garage sale, so we're only gonna get that much out of it. But hey, MJ, I'm turning it over to you. See if we got any listener, viewer questions, comments.
Hey, we got a couple. Some of them are from the last time because I was a little bit under the weather, so to speak, on our last show. But Ray Leichner checked in, said, "This is funny. If you haven't caught at Stormfront Freak podcast, you are missing out. The lightning round lately has been hilarious, and we all know what they're referring to."
Oh my goodness.
Yes, we do, Maz.
Yes, we do. Hank at Flatlander Hank says, "At Stormfront Freak, by the way, freaks don't panic on the pronunciation of short-lived or short-lived. According to current dictionary entries, it can now be pronounced either way."
Thank you.
There
Thank
you
you
go,
very
guys.
much.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. If I could go back like 30 years.
There you
That
go.
tornado is short-lived. It's a short-lived tornado.
From Germany, one of our faithful YouTube viewers and listeners, Christine, or Luna Light, as she's sometimes known as, has a video for our Weather Fools section, and I'm not going to say anything more about it because I'm going to use that next time we have a Weather Fools segment.
Awesome.
But she did send us a selection for that, and I think it'll be one that works pretty well. And then Matt McCune says, "At Stormfront Freak, here's a weather story for you, kind of on our Believe It or Not piece. Codell, Kansas was hit by a tornado 3 years in a row on the same day."
Wow.
So we might want
Wow,
to check
is
that
right.
one out for our
Interesting.
segment.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Lottery numbers.
Thanks everybody for checking in, and always check in with us on Facebook, Twitter, or email to us. You can do that from our website, stormfrontfreaks.com.
Or email questions at
yep.
stormfrontfreaks.com if you want to send us an email. But I encourage you guys, if you come across great Weather Fools, good WX resources, or some great fodder for our Weather Trollbot 4000 now, let us know. Yeah, send that in, and we'll obviously try and include that. But I think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks for listening or watching. Before I reveal our next guest, if you enjoyed the show, do us a favor, leave us a great review on your podcast app, and don't forget to subscribe to the show by hitting your podcast app subscribe button, or even on YouTube. But it works just like a magazine or newspaper subscription. It's free. It just means that when you subscribe, you'll get the latest episode delivered right to your phone, your inbox, whatever, the moment it gets released. And again, I said it's all free. So I do want to say a special thanks to our guest tonight, Marc Remillard and Bobby Nicholls. Appreciate both you guys coming on.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Honestly, I'm very excited about this. We'll be watching you guys and looking forward to see what you guys come out with. So thanks for taking the time to join us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
And our next episode in 2 weeks, we're going to be recording on February 7th as part of our theme this year of going coast to coast with your favorite TV meteorologists. We're going to be with Matt Zaffino, Chief Meteorologist with KGW-TV in Portland. So we're getting a chance to find out a little bit about what's going on out on our northwest coast. If you'd like to watch the recording live, you can do so 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Just check out our YouTube channel by searching Stormfront Freaks. And as I said earlier, be sure to subscribe. But for MJ, for Maz, Kim already took off, and Mark and Bobby, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear. We'll catch you all next time. So good night, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys. Good job.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. Find our bi-weekly show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Watch our shows on YouTube and Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. For show notes, additional information about this episode, as well as past and upcoming shows, videos, photos, merchandise, and more, visit our website at stormfrontfreaks.com. While you're there, check out our live interactive storm chaser radar provided by our friends at zoomradar.com. If you would like to contact us with questions or make comments about the show, shoot us an email to questions@stormfrontfreaks.com or follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Search for Stormfront Freaks. We'd love to hear from you. Join us next time and tell a friend about the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
And boys, both you guys are good to stay on here for another 15 minutes or so?
Yeah.
You're not going to miss your flight, Mark?
No, I told them to wait.
Nice.
It's got security behind him.
The accent.
Okay.